I'm Jeff Walbridge, part owner of this whole complex, which is loosely the original Adelaide Brewery building. I'm one of the founders of Walbridge Gilbert Aztec Consulting Engineers, and I've been here for nearly 40 years, so I know the building pretty well. One of the reasons that we chose here was because one of our aspects of our business is doing engineering on heritage buildings, and we've done a lot of heritage buildings as employed consulting engineers. We've done a lot of work in the Adelaide city as well. Heritage buildings are beautiful, but they do have limitations. Trying to get air conditioning in, telephone cabling, computer cabling, etc. can be quite difficult, which is not really a negative, but it's a constraint you have to deal with, but well worth it as far as we're concerned because of the interesting and different building you get out of it. In terms of who you might get to be part of the team to move in, renovate, even modify a heritage building, certainly you need a good heritage architect and a good heritage engineer that can think around the problems, because you've got to do things just a little bit different, a bit cleverer sometimes.
I'm Elizabeth Little from Grieve Gillette Anderson Architects. I was the project architect on a couple of projects here at Walbridge Gilbert Aztec offices, but our involvement in the refurbishment started in about 2008, so we've been working with them for over 10 years. So the features of the building are tied in with it being a state heritage place, and the assessment of the building looked into its history and the different uses that had occurred here. And so I suppose the important features are the things that tell a bit of that story. So a lot of the old stone walls, the timber framing, but I suppose that at the heart of it, it's really the feel of the space. It's got quite an industrial feel to it, which I think talks to its former uses, even though it's now working as a fairly comfortable modern office building. We work pretty closely with Adelaide City Council and the State Heritage Branch because of the heritage listing for the building. We worked with Adelaide City Council early on to establish if we'd be eligible for some funding for specific aspects of the development. But that was it was a really good process, and I think obviously the client was pretty happy to get a financial contribution, but it also came with good advice and a bit of support, which was great. I think what I love about it is that having been working with the client and the site for quite a long time, we've seen it evolve from something that had potential to something that's hopefully achieved its potential, and watching people work within the space, particularly in the garage with that fairly expansive volume. I think it's a nice work environment, but it's a bit different. It's not just your standard office space. And then over the last couple of years, being able to undertake the last sort of piece of the puzzle with the new reception and boardroom, that was really just, I guess, working through the site and making sure that each component kind of talked to the other. But yeah, I guess having the patience to see it through and looking back at where we started, it's been pretty rewarding.
Don't be afraid. It's not all that hard. Certainly, we found a lot of people sort of say, "Oh, you never get approval for that." We found that generally, if it's sensible, as long as you do it properly and sensibly, it's nothing to be afraid of. I'd say go for it. It gives you a lot of bang for your buck.